You're watching Yahoo Finance Invest Asia. I'm Isabel Wong. This year, our theme is Disrupting Finance, Innovations Shaping the Future. We'll be speaking with esteemed business, innovation, and finance leaders from around the Asia-Pacific region to talk about how businesses are navigating opportunities and challenges arising from technological advancement and innovation. Joining us now is Chris Brown, founder and CEO of ReThink Hong Kong. ReThink Hong Kong is one of the most significant platforms in Hong Kong for business leaders and sustainability practitioners. Under Chris' leadership, ReThink has emerged as a premier event that attracts thousands of attendees every year, fostering collaborations and dialogues around sustainability practices and ESG integration. With his deep passion for driving positive change and expertise in all things sustainable business practices, Chris has emerged as a key figure advancing Hong Kong's journey towards a more resilient and sustainable future. And previously, we have spoken with Michael Tian and Christine Low about their views on the key global trends in sustainability as well as the role played by Hong Kong. And for this conversation, we are eager to hear from Chris about the latest updates on all things sustainability in Hong Kong and how different key stakeholders can play a role in all of that. So Chris, thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Hi, Isabel.
Now, the first question for you is, of course, it's encouraging to hear that in recent years, sustainability has emerged as a critical pillar for business and societal development and the rising importance of sustainable practices and ESG integration. But obviously, this is the big question. How can sustainability really be translated into economic growth?
Well, firstly, thank you so much for having me. And your question is pertinent, complex, as is sustainability. I think that the answer, there's lots of different answers to that question. So risk is a big part of it. So business understanding the risk of inaction is a huge part of the business value that comes from sustainability. And the increasing prevalence that businesses are now putting on sustainable transition is driven by lots of different factors. Now, I think the sustainability practitioners would say that it's coming from a mixture of customer and consumer demands, coming from stakeholders and shareholders wanting much more openness and transparency about what a business is doing in the future. And there's also internal stakeholders, the different needs and wants of all the different stakeholders from within a business, putting pressure on business owners, boards, C-suites, to really create transform a business into one that has real value. In Asia, I think we know that we're behind, and perhaps even in Hong Kong, we're behind other territories in Asia. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I think we can learn from some of the transitions that are happening in Europe and predominantly in Europe, and how businesses are really taking the opportunities that come from sustainability in creating purpose, increasing their value proposition to all of their different stakeholders. And for us at ReThink, that's incredibly exciting to be able to provide a platform that allows visionaries and change makers, business owners and decision makers to come together to really understand the challenges, or overcome the challenges, but really get to grips with what opportunities come from running a sustainable business. And if we think about what is the definition of a board, what is the definition of a CEO, is to secure that future viability and sustainability of a business. So it's the decisions they make now that are going to put their business in a good position into the future. And as we look to 2030, 2050, as the carbon neutrality goals for Hong Kong, business has an extremely important role to play in that. And of course, government will support that with policy, to enable businesses to hopefully enable businesses to operate in what will be a future green economy for Hong Kong.
So as a follow-up for that, you just mentioned, I mean, obviously it was a really complex question that you just answered there. Cross-sector collaboration is important in achieving any sustainability goals. So what do you think, what part does ReThink play in this in terms of fostering that collaboration between the public, private sectors as well as NGOs?
It's hugely important. And I think sustainability is a great leveler. We all live under the same sun. And so being able to find commonality across industries and across sectors where there is shared challenges, but also shared opportunities. And I think we've seen in Hong Kong with initiatives like the Drink Without Waste initiative, where essentially an industry ecosystem is coming together, made up of customers, competitors, suppliers, end users, NGOs, to form a common voice that represents a sector, so that they're able to kind of push that agenda with a common voice and a shared goal. They of course have perhaps very different and sometimes conflicting priorities when operating in normal business. But if they are a key stakeholder in Hong Kong, and they rely on Hong Kong for the future viability of their business, then they have a shared responsibility to contribute towards this transition to something better, and to support both the business, the economy of the city, but equally importantly the wider society, in helping them to understand society's role in sustainability. And we've had lots of challenging areas over the last 12 months, like the municipal solid waste not coming to fruition. And there's challenges at grassroots public level with the awareness and understanding, both from a local business perspective and local population, with having the confidence to be able to roll out policy and initiatives like that. So shared value, shared responsibility, I think, are hugely important terminology that businesses that need to understand, because when you work together, you're more powerful, you get economies of scale, you're able to tackle these issues together, and de-risk it, de-risk the fact that you're having to push change forward. And we certainly see that from my industry, the events industry or the MICE industry, that when we work together, when we have a common goal and we have a shared voice, we can get change pushed through a lot quicker and a lot easier.
Absolutely. There are definitely a lot of important conversations going on at ReThink. But one of the questions that I have is that, as Hong Kong works towards the 2050 carbon neutrality goal, what do you think are some of the biggest challenges that businesses are facing in this type of new sustainability landscape? What have they been telling you at ReThink?
So if we just look at Hong Kong, okay, Hong Kong's economy has some foundation sectors. We have very little agriculture, very little manufacturing, sadly, anymore. So we're really looking at buildings, we're looking at waste, the energy transition and the electrification of the transportation network. And that's been very clearly laid out in the government's pathway. So we know where the change needs to happen. From a finance perspective, it's being able to get the financial institutions to understand their role in financing this transition. So being able to lend against retrofitting projects and the payback time that's going to come from those investments. And these are the kind of nuanced discussions that happen at ReThink. But we try to present it in a way that is open and accessible to all businesses from all sectors. We want to spark inspiration. We want to provide that platform where the person next to you, or the person on stage, or the person you meet in a workshop or a round table can be your next customer, supplier, collaboration partner, NGO partner.
When we previously spoke with Professor Christine Low, she mentioned the role played by universities in terms of pushing the agenda for environmental protection because of their research and innovation capabilities.
Absolutely.
But in your view, what else is needed to facilitate that capacity building in sustainability? What are some of the other key stakeholders will have to do, for example, governments, businesses, or even citizens?
The capacity building isn't just around kind of sustainability. I think all businesses in Hong Kong have faced and are potentially still facing challenges around access to talent. Internal capacity building is part of solving that problem. So internally within our business, so we've started a program to upskill and to further develop our own team, so that we don't have to rely on additional resources, because some of the experiences we've had around interviewing future graduates and young graduates has really been quite disappointing. There's a lot of talent out there. There's a lot of enthusiasm around sustainability, and especially around the technologies. And Christine's absolutely right. They're a hotbed for ideas and innovation and the R&D that comes out of the universities. And there's a lot of opportunities for those young, incredibly talented and passionate graduates to do lots of good. From a business perspective, there still has to be that kind of mindset change within an organisation that there is a role for sustainability practitioners. With the growth or the exponential growth and expectations around ESG reporting, a lot of sustainability or people who would want to get into sustainability might find themselves within an ESG reporting function, as opposed to, inverted commas, getting their hands dirty. And I think from the government perspective, there's initiatives around continuing to attract talent into Hong Kong. Whether those talents are going to be encouraged to go into a sustainability-related function or organisation, I'm not sure. So there's challenges out there for sure. We're facing that, but I think there is a growing opportunity for Hong Kong graduates to find purposeful roles in businesses.
And now looking ahead, what are some of the key trends that you foresee will be dominating conversations around sustainability? And how can businesses really prepare themselves for these trends?
Yeah, I mean, so one of the biggest topics and trends that is coming over the horizon at the moment is around the link between business and nature. This has come just in the last 2 years. This is really becoming a business critical discussion. Again, driven by reporting and disclosure, mandated reporting and disclosure requirements that are on the horizon. Businesses are really starting to have to understand the impact of their operations up and down their value chain on the natural environment. And just as businesses are getting their head around financial disclosure and ESG reporting, there's another wave of requirements that are coming, and that takes specialist understanding. And there are some fantastic organisations that are early adopters of TNFD in Hong Kong. We're very privileged to have them operating here, that are really taking nature seriously. So I don't want to scare people. I don't want to scare businesses that are still just starting to take those initial steps around their understanding of sustainability and putting strategies in place to make sure that they are adapting and mitigating in the right way. But they need to be looking kind of a little bit further down the path and making sure they're building that capacity. They're budgeting for the kind of future requirements that are needed to understand how to take on these challenges that are going to keep coming.
Amazing. And finally, if you would like to send a message to everyone about the mission that you have at ReThink, what would that message be?
Okay, so our mission at ReThink is to provide an open and transparent platform that is accessible to all businesses in Hong Kong. We have a collective responsibility to tackle sustainability and to push Hong Kong as an economy towards a cleaner, greener, and more sustainable future for everyone. And so we welcome everyone to adopt the kind of our philosophy of the only way forward, and to really think about how they are going to put sustainability into everything they do within their organisation.
Chris, thank you so much for joining us on the program.
Thank you.
That was Chris Brown, founder and CEO of ReThink Hong Kong. If you would like to get up to speed with our other interviews from Yahoo Finance Invest Asia, please visit us at hk.finance.yahoo.com.